Welcome to the Red Dirt Road podcast. You already know what this is. If you don't know, country music podcast. And we talk about Brooks and Dunn and real country music. You know, could be older, could be newer. We don't really focus on one decade. We do a lot in the 90s because that's when Brooks and Dunn was starting out, real popular. But we talk about other stuff too. We started out Brooks and Dunn, really related, and are really now shifting into talking about just real country music, traditional, neo-traditional, independent, not that Nashville country pop stuff. If you like that stuff, this ain't the podcast for you. So before we get into the song, a couple words, not country music related, but a rest in peace to a couple of musicians in their own right in the rock world, that from some bands that I grew up listening to. Joey Jordison, drummer of Slipknot, passed away since the last time we recorded on here. Age of 46, much too young. And Dusty Hill, bassist of ZZ Top. I've listened to those bands a lot. Used to listen to Slipknot a lot in high school, and ZZ Top started listening to a lot in post college, and really respect both those bands. It's too young, especially for Joey. I want to talk real quick about the Country Fest. If you're from Ohio, might know what the Country Fest is. It's held at Clays Park. It's been going on about 10 years now. Went to that on Saturday. Missed the first act, Lane Hardy. He's kind of newer kind of guy. I listened to one of his songs. Wasn't able to go see him for the 4:00 show because I was at a gun raffle. But Parker McCullum is a guy I'm excited about. You know, he's not completely traditional country or even 100% neo-traditional. You know, there's but he's not really the Nashville country pop. He's more country than a lot of guys out there right now. So he was good. Riley Green is the second guy. Was very excited to see him. He did awesome. A little bit of a shorter kind of show. It was actually under an hour and 15 minutes. That was a little bit disappointing. And then the headliner, Dierks Bentley, was good. You know, he put on a good show. I'm kind of haven't really followed him a whole lot over the years, but that's a guy that's been around for a little while, actually almost 20 years that he's been putting out music. So I'm actually thinking about putting out a Dierks Bentley episode for one of his songs coming up soon. So look forward to that. He was pretty good though. But Riley Green definitely was my favorite. If you are thinking about going to the Country Fest in the future, I would definitely look at the artists because they tend to have some country pop people on there. And, you know, if you're a real country fan, might not enjoy that. But the guys I went to on Saturday were the best day to go. So On the Road Again by Willie Nelson. You know, I had to do a Willie Nelson song eventually. Was not trying to hide from him. Just so many good country artists to get to. So, you know, here's some of the facts about this song. Written and recorded by Willie Nelson. It was recorded in, you know, a lot of this coming from Wikipedia. So, you know, we'll see how accurate some of these things are. Recorded in fall 1979, released in August 1980. And some of these things I did not know about this song. And again, hopefully this is true, but it says that 1980, Willie Nelson starred in his first leading role in the film Honeysuckle Rose. Never have heard of that or have seen it. About an aging musician who falls to achieve national fame and his relationship with his family, who also are part of his band that travels throughout the United States while playing in different venues. That's interesting that he played an aging musician 40 years ago. He's still kicking. Shortly after signing the contract, Willie Nelson was approached on a flight by the executive producer of the movie, who requested him to write a song about life on the road to use as the theme song. Willie Nelson, it says, wrote the song on a barf bag. The tune featured a train beat. Barf bag. I've not heard that in a little while. That's kind of gross, but yeah. Interesting. When you look at this song, we'll talk about the lyrics in a minute. When you look at this song, it's understandable how he wrote it on a barf bag, because there's not much to the song lyrically. Lyrically, it's written well, but there's not a whole lot. The song was released with Willie Nelson's 1980 album Honeysuckle Rose, reaching the first position on the Billboard Country Albums chart, while it ranked 20 on the Billboard Hot 100. It also peaked to number 1 on the country charts. And it says Willie Nelson received a Grammy Award for Best Country Song and was nominated for Best Original Song during the 53rd Academy Awards. And in 2004, Rolling Stone ranked it number 471 on its 500 greatest songs of all time. In 2011, On the Road Again was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Wow. The song's also featured on a bunch of different TV shows and movies: South Park, Shameless, Family Guy. There's a bunch of parodies and covers. That's pretty much it for that. Sort of my breakdown of the song. It has an intro about 10 seconds that's some light drumming and then guitar. And then I don't know if these are choruses or verses. I just wrote them down as verses, but it sort of is either has no verses or has no choruses. I don't know how you would put this, but it's basically got 3. The verse A, it talks about the life he loves is making music with his friends. Obviously, it keeps repeating on the road again. Verse B, seeing new things and going new places, what he's talking about. And then verse C, kind of a famous quote of this is, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. And then it repeats verse A, goes on to breakdown of its instrumentals and harmonica, and then it repeats verse C again, I think maybe 2 times. So kind of interesting setup there. My opinion of the song, perfect kind of traveling song. A little bit short though, so I guess if you play it a couple times, maybe on a short trip, maybe better. Even though Willie Nelson mostly had a lot of slower songs, it seems like this is a perfect Willie Nelson song. He's known for being on the road. He's kind of a roadie. He was always touring. Really enjoy the song. It's a little short, very simple. I would not say that it's Willie Nelson's my favorite song of his. Maybe. Probably not. I think it's a little bit short. I think it definitely, I could see myself maybe down the line not liking the song as much because there's not as much to it really. But it does the job. It doesn't say too much, says what it needs to. There's no filler lines. Whenever you got band of gypsies going down the highway, that's funny. I really like Poncho and Lefty. That brings in Merle Haggard though too. So I'm not sure how you compare that to this, since you've got another legendary country singer in there as well. So that's a little bit harder to compare, but I think that maybe might be my favorite Willie Nelson song. We also got the Highwayman, but this is probably his most well-known song. It's actually not, surprisingly, it's not in his top 5 right now, most popular on Spotify. But anyways, that was what we have for the song. I was trying to get a guest for today since it's kind of a bigger name, bigger song, but that kind of had to be pushed back. So yeah, had to do with what we could. So we will see you guys next time on the Red Road.